Secondly, Matthew chapter 5 and verse 20. A Pharisee is one who glories in external righteousness. Now we'll come to that more often, but that's one of the characteristics of a Pharisee. Jesus said, Matthew 5 and verse 20, Jesus said, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the righteousness of the Pharisees, you will not enter God's kingdom. Now, how can your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees? If they fasted twice a week, does it mean you've got to fast 3 times a week? If they paid 10% of their income, does it mean you've got to pay 15% of your income? If they prayed 3 times a day, does it mean you've got to pray 4 times a day? No. He was not talking about surpassing in number. He was talking about surpassing in quality. Quality. It's like cars. It's not a question of producing more cars or more scooters, but better quality cars, better quality scooters. You know the difference between made in India and made in Japan. What is it? Is it because Japan produces more? No, they produce better quality. So when Jesus said your righteousness must exceed the righteousness, surpass the righteousness of the Pharisees, it means the quality of your righteousness must be way beyond the righteousness of the Pharisees. And then he said, what did he mean? He explained it in the next verses. He said, I'll explain to you what I mean, he said. The Pharisees' righteousness was, you shall not commit murder. Your righteousness must be, you must not get angry. Got it? Verse 21, 22. If you get angry and you don't overcome it, verse 22, you will go to hell. Have you ever heard any preacher tell you that? You get angry and you don't overcome it, you'll go to hell? Jesus preached it. He died to save people from that hell he preached about in verse 22. I want to say to all of you, because you'll never hear it in another pulpit, if you get angry and you don't overcome it, you will go to hell. And in the day of judgment, when God sends you there, don't tell him that I did not warn you about it. Anger is worse than AIDS. Nobody ever went to hell by getting AIDS. A lot of people have gone to hell by getting angry. Secondly, your righteousness, he's giving examples of how your righteousness must be better than, surpass the righteousness of the Pharisees. He says, the Pharisees' righteousness was, verse 27, don't commit adultery. I say to you, your righteousness must be, you don't even lust with your eyes. But if you keep on lusting with your eyes and sin sexually with your eyes, verse 29, and you will go to hell. Or if you sin sexually with your right hand, verse 30, you will go to hell. Twice he says you'll go to hell if you sin sexually with your eyes or with your hands. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. It's very clear. Jesus didn't go into ugly details about sexual sin, but he said, and I tell you, there are very, very, very few Christians who take these things seriously. Because they're Pharisees. They glory in an external righteousness. I don't do these things externally. In other words, I've got a good testimony before men. It may not be just these areas. This is a sample. It could be in a whole lot of areas where your righteousness is on the outside. Everybody sees that you're holy. The Lord says it must be on the inside. What's your inside like? Not how do you dress, how do you look, what do people think of you on the outside. What is your inside like where nobody knows? Your thoughts, your motives, your attitudes, your attitude to money. What is your, do you keep your accounts properly? Are you just showing other people you're generous? Or you're just a miser, secretly? Don't glory in what reputation you have got before people. That is a mark of a Pharisee who's got a good testimony before others because of his outside righteousness. Number 3,